This was a series that was destined to deliver, and that it has done. We're on to Dust2 now. Map number 3 between Grayhound and FaZe Clan. Did not expect to be seeing FaZe in the lower bracket. Perhaps did not expect to see Grayhound at this point after having gone up against SK yesterday. But they've managed to dispatch of SK 2-1, now looking to do the same against FaZe. But we're here on the Dust2, a map that we have not yet seen from either of these two teams, and it is a very tantalizing prospect indeed.
It is indeed. I'm very excited. We haven't seen any Dust2 really from these two teams. We've only seen it once this entire event. It's been banned out by pretty much everyone at some point, usually second stage in the veto. It's not been anyone's first ban, which makes sense because everyone has, unless you're lucky and you're Australis and your permaban just gets taken out of the map rotation by Valve. Thanks, guys. Other than that, most teams have a permaban that they'll do as their first stage, but most teams will eventually go for a Dust2 second stage, so ban second stage. So we haven't seen too much of it, but we will be seeing it here. And Dust2, renowned as the AIM map, I think is going to be a really exciting prospect because Grayhound, on the most part, are keeping up with SK in the AIM department. In particular, on Mirage especially, Gratisfaction is outshining Guardian, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, it seems strange to even say a statement like that, but I would definitely agree with you. Gratisfaction has been having a great series so far, but towards the end of that one on Cage, we started to see FaZe, and in particular Carrigan, starting to step up as well, who was not necessarily having the greatest of performances there on Mirage, and that could be the difference here now between Grayhound and FaZe. If all 5 members of FaZe step up here, it's going to be a very tough ask for Grayhound to close this map out, but into this third map, we didn't really expect to see either of these two teams here anyway, so who knows what we've got ahead of us. It could be anyone's game, and it is really anyone's game at this point. It's just such an amazing match that we're getting to see right now, and I'm so delighted to be able to have a look at this one on Dust2. And I mean, I'm not so sure which way this is going to go, really. It's very hard to make a prediction one way or another.
We can't call it. We've seen no Dust2 because it's only just come back in. This is the first tournament that Dust2 is being used in. There's no map data to go on here. There's no stats. There's no storylines. There's nothing. All we know is that this map is an aim map and that we have 10 players who can aim.
Yeah, well, 10 players that can definitely aim right now. At least yesterday when we were watching SK versus Grayhound, we could sort of say, okay, moving on to the final map. We know that Overpass has been a good map in the past here for SK, yes, but more importantly for Grayhound as well. So we thought that they might be able to have a good performance there, which in the end they did, and they closed out SK 2-1. Now up against FaZe, though, it's anybody's game. It's a roll of the dice. It's a flip of the coin. What other analogies do you have for this one, Tim? It really is just a wait-and-see game for us right now. There's, again, just nothing to say about this but to just wait and see to get into this map.
There's nothing. There's actually nothing else apart from just wheeling out more analogies. That's pretty much all we can do because, like I was saying, we don't have map data. I know I just said that, but the thing to consider is when we come into these matchups, as casters, we like to do our research, we'll check in stats, we'll check in previous results, anything we can find that might give us a bit of a foundation into, okay, this team likes to pick or ban this map, this team has these results in online versus on LAN with this, and from that you can build up a bit of a storyline being like, okay, this team is a bit shaky online, maybe they're really good on this map on LAN, you know, whatever you can go for. With a map that's just been added, with two teams that have never played each other before now because they're from opposite sides of the world, we really have very little to go off apart from the previous 2 maps. And going into a map like Dust2 that is built on AIM, all we can really say is that the AWPs are going to be very impactful. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Malta come out with the secondary, which we haven't seen against FaZe yet, but he's certainly been effective on it. Gratisfaction and Guardian are going to have a great time, particularly around mid, as Dust2 is that unique map where most maps you have some way of getting early info within the first like 10 to 15 seconds. Dust2, though, you can get info and even a kill in the first 5 with that corridor straight down mid. So it's a bit unique in that aspect, and the AWPs in particular are very strong here. So Gratisfaction versus Guardian, I think, is going to be a huge matchup here. But other than that, there's very little we can say until this map gets underway.
Well, here we go into map 3. Strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen. This one is set to be a belter. We've seen a fantastic series so far coming out between FaZe Clan and Grayhound Gaming, and both of them now fighting off potentially being knocked out of IEM Sydney on day 2, and both of them setting their sights towards Cloud9, who is awaiting them in the lower bracket final. It's going to be Grayhound starting off on the T side, FaZe Clan on CT. And this pistol round, oh so important for both of these two teams.
Once again, Grayhound have got Dexter on the P250 and the utility. We see it so much, and for FaZe, it's the full armor, I should say, out. Guardians playing close here on B, ready for these players, and all of Grayhound are stacked up. There's a smoke grenade that they intend to jump through, but Rain's already found the first, spamming away, and Guardian is laying in wait.
Well, this is very dangerous, isn't it, for Grayhound? They're actually all crouching through the smoke, trying to avoid the spam from Rain. They're not necessarily aware of Guardian, and he takes down Gratisfaction to start things off. There's a trade, though, from Dexter and Urcast, and Grayhound, they open up the B bomb site as long as they can get across here. There is no smoke for them, but they managed to get there fine and dandy. The bomb will go down now, and in the 3 versus 3, Malta decides to take a risky peek out from window, is not punished for it. They need to be aware of the player coming through upper dark. Carrigan has been dropped by Urcast, and all of a sudden, this is suddenly starting to look much, much better for Grayhound.
It is indeed Exist and Nico. No kit, no utility, not much time. That bomb is only just getting to half tick through, but there's 3 Grayhound players waiting for them as they both dance through doors and window. Not committing just yet, but they have to now.
Well, there has to be some great shots hit out here from FaZe, and in fact, it will not be. Exist did manage to get Dexter, but in the end, Grayhound will come away with the 2 kills they need.
That's another T-side pistol round in which Urcast gets 4. We saw it on Mirage as well. He just has such massive performances here. And Grayhound now sit at 4 out of 5 pistols successfully taken for themselves. They're going to get a good start here onto Dust2, going for the rifles and the SMG in this anti-eco. Guardian will be forcing into the scout. Everyone else on the pistols. Rain has one as well, actually. And they're going to go double scout into mid to get that info, get the early damage if they can find it. Grayhound going to take this one from top mid with the help of some utility.
Well, you need to be very careful here if you are Grayhound up against those scouts. Nico, what a shot hit by the Deagle. He gets another one onto Malta, but he will be taken down by Urcast. So, Grayhound, they still have a player deficit here, but they're going to continue the charge into the A-bomb side. Carrigan, oh, he's destroyed them. 2 kills for him as well. The Deagles playing havoc right now for Grayhound. And what are you going to do against the individual skill that FaZe Clan is displaying right now?
Die is the most likely answer. Carrigan and Nico, both with huge rounds of that Desert Eagle. It's all left up to Dick Stacey. And he's been spotted out. He'll find a nice first headshot onto Guardian, but he's got 3 to go. The bomb down in incredibly hostile territory. And while he does have the read onto Carrigan's position, Carrigan has an AK. This round has gone disastrously wrong for Grayhound. And it all comes down to the Deagles being presented kills and hitting them.
Yeah, well, the benefit, at least for Dick Stacey, is that he does have 50 seconds to work with. It was 1 minute and 10. He's used up 20 seconds, hasn't found anything really with it, but this is such a tough round now for him to try and close out, and you would be absolutely astonished if he gets the job done here. Already getting a lot of HP taken away. It's a good shot hit onto Exist, but the wrap is coming around the back. Dick Stacey aware of it. In the end, though, Carrigan will get the kill there with the AK. What a fantastic round out from both Carrigan and Nico. And that form from Keish is continuing for Carrigan.
And for, like, Nico, that was huge. The first Deagle kill, he plucked a headshot on a jumping player out of midair. It's Nico and it's a Deagle, so we expect that sort of thing, but it's just, god damn.
That's the kind of round where if you're Grayhound, like, there is nothing you can do against that.
You just say, all right, well, we got outskilled, see ya.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the danger. Against a team like FaZe, on a map like Dust2, this could be a very, very nightmarish reality for Grayhound heading into this final map.
It could indeed. And the pain continues as the double nade rains down onto Malta. Carrigan and Nico combining that frag. Exist holding off the push into B, and Grayhound have sent all of their players here. Brad was having a look into A long, see if he could find anything there, but he does have to fall off it. And while he will keep a bit of an eye on mid, cheeky boost is coming out. That's a triple boost, actually, over the box there. That's a bit sneaky, but it won't land them anything. And Grayhound with the Deagles now, looking to commit into B. There's rifles waiting. The blender is set.
They know now that Exist is sitting behind the box at the back of site. Rain has been spotted in window as well, but it doesn't matter. FaZe, their crossfire setup is far too strong. And Gratisfaction, the only one not entering the B bomb site, is the only one still alive here, but not for too much longer as Nico just creeps down the stairs. And there's 2 rounds on the board now for FaZe Clan, and ooh, well, this is starting to get a little bit spicy, isn't it?
All right, Nico, chill out, bud. Get some bullets into the body of the player that he killed. And for FaZe, I think that's going to be pretty much the mood here. Just like, come on, how are we losing to an Australian team? At this point, they've got to be feeling pretty annoyed with how this has gone. Got to be on the board to get as many as they can, or on deck, I guess, to as many as they can in terms of rounds against these pistols. It's the Glocks and the P250s here for Greyhounds. This should be another easy round. But FaZe at this point, they've had some time to think between maps. They've got to be fired up here Surely they're thinking, we're an international roster. We're the best team that's been established recently in terms of lineup. Surely we don't lose to these guys. And Exist and Carrigan are showing us why.
Well, you can definitely see a change in the FaZe guys right now. Everyone's starting to step up on the CT side, and this does not bode well at all for Grayhound. The whole Counter-Strike world is watching right now, Tim, and Grayhound, they want to put their best foot forward, but for the moment, it is all just FaZe Clan, absolutely decimating Grayhound in the first 4 rounds of this map. The guns, though, to come out now for Grayhound, and another opportunity for them to find something coming into the 5th round of the half. Gratisfaction with the AWP. Let's see if he can hit someone on the cross. Does not even in the end decide to take a shot. FaZe managed to get into the B bomb site unscathed.
This is going to be a fast round out of Grayhound, or at least initially it would have been. Had Grat found him some damage there, had he hit a wallbang or even got a kill, they would have gone straight into B there. The idea being that you can wrap into it and get the kill on the damaged players, but here comes the push up mid.
Yeah, look at this from Grayhound. They've got a great split onto the B bomb site. Malta hits the entry onto Exist, but there's a player in the dark. Oh my goodness, Gratisfaction. I'm lost for words right now as to what is going on here for Grayhound. In the end, they are going to get control of the B bomb site, 3 versus 3, and Urcast will get the smoke down. Just to delay FaZe a little bit more. But Malta on 4 HP and FaZe looking for the retake here.
FaZe, a doable retake 3v3, and that's a great shot from Carrigan. Everyone's on point at the moment. This is insane. This is 10 players in what could be the best form of the tournament so far.
Urcast playing anti-flash right now. Malta trying to back him up, but Malta does not have any HP to work with here. It has to be Urcast to get everything done for Grayhound. Malta's been dropped. Now a 1 versus 3 for Urcast and spraying madly. Well, that almost reminded me of something that I saw Fnatic do once, but this time, Urcast cannot quite get the shots across. FaZe, they secure a 4th and the first gun round of Dust2.
Goodness me. That is ridiculous. What a crazy round that is. Even as the mid take is coming in, Exist is getting taken down. Rain's pushing into Upper Dark through a smoke and finding himself 2 frags. And FaZe, this is a bit of them being unfazed at the moment by anything that Grayhound are throwing at them, taking the wackiest angels possible, pushing through smokes, going for the low percentage plays and converting it due to raw skill. Grayhound now 1 round against the 4 of FaZe, onto a force buy, let Dexter limit it to the scout. Guardians hitting shots through flashbangs, as is Carrigan. What is this game?
Goodness gracious me right now, Grayhound. They need to slow things down because FaZe is just dominating them at every corner. And FaZe Clan, this is the FaZe that you want to be seeing. These are the guys that last year they came into IEM Sydney. They were a potential for the title. They didn't quite get the job done against SK, and they've been having a dangerous run. But now, Grayhound really being put to the test against what is looking like an absolutely dominant FaZe Clan.
And Exist is firing up as well. Carrigan on 10 kills at the moment. He's been, of course, playing very well, but that, I think, is a big thing for FaZe. They're no longer are they relying on the core 3 of Nico, Rain, and it would have been Olaf, or Nico, Rain, and Guardian in this case, to carry them through in terms of the dominance frags. Their best fraggers in this map so far, admittedly only 6 rounds in, are Exist and Carrigan, the IGL and the sub.
Whoa, Malta's got a kill there with the scout. Guardian does go down, so perhaps a stroke of luck there for Grayhound, an opening for them. And Exist has taken a fair chunk of damage there as well. So Grayhound, maybe they're not ready to roll over and die just yet, but on a round like this, even despite getting that opening kill and opening damage, it is not in their favor just yet.
Not just yet. So they've got the bomb back in T-spawn still, no longer committing anywhere. They're down mid and they're considering going through that smoke. But for FaZe, in a 4 versus 4, they're repositioning, or 4 versus 5 even. Repositioning, taking long control. 1 player at car who can watch short. Carrigan can lock down pit. And 2 players on B. Nico has the AWP at car, and this is a position that's been so strong in previous Dust2 iterations. Think about Smiths here back in the day on the, I mean, really any AWPer, but Smiths in particular love this spot. Kenny S, everyone has amazing rounds from here, and now Nico has the time and the freedom to play with. Grat has the scout, and he has to hit a blinder to make this work.
Well, Nico, he's not quite landing the shots that he wants to and really being put under pressure by Grayhound, but he will survive. However, it does allow Grayhound to get into the side, and the plant is for short. So long, not necessarily a priority right now for Grayhound, as they are going to congregate towards the direction they came from. But FaZe on a 4 versus 4, the retake. Malta is just standing up like a lighthouse. Carrigan finds an easy kill there. Malta, the headshot comes across, in fact, and now he's got an opportunity as well onto Dexter, but not landing those shots. Dexter crouching down, trying to survive, but Gratisfaction could have almost come up huge from that position. In the end, he will be dropped by Carrigan. Now just Urcast in a 1 versus 3. The bomb planted for him is not going to be enough, and FaZe put another one on the board, up to 6-1. It's been a monstrous display so far from FaZe, but that slows them down a little bit. Grayhound giving them some pause for thought.
It does, but unfortunately the positioning not quite working out there for Grayhound. Malta was holding a good angle into short or CT, I'm not sure which it was, but his teammates were playing passive towards long, and that is what leaves him exposed. The opening frag makes it possible for FaZe. They flood in with the superior weaponry. But speaking of weaponry, now Grayhound can get on an even keel. Grat's got the AWP looking in towards mid and won't get the shot across. Guardian is waiting for him. Actually, it's Nico is waiting for him. Guardian's towards long. And while no frag goes either way just yet, both sides have used a decent amount of utility. Still a double AWP out on the CT side here that Grayhound will have to deal with once they get onto this A-bomb site.
Malta fully flashed out there. Does give away his position, just spamming through with the AK. But for Grayhound, they still have not committed to either of these bomb sites, and it's starting to get a little bit dire right now for Grayhound on that T side. If you think back to Dust2, traditionally it was, or at least towards the end of its tenure, a T-sided map. And so far, FaZe Clan absolutely dominant on the CT side, 6-1. This is where Grayhound need to come back into it. Otherwise, they are going to be bowing out of IEM Sydney.
I don't think you can fault them for that, going out to a FaZe this dominant. But of course, this is not the way they would want it to go after this far of a run. This deep, taking out SK, bringing it to 1-1 against FaZe. They don't want to go out just this soon. They will smoke Nico back. That is a smoke literally just to deny that line. That doesn't help them go mid to B. That barely helps them get up short. It just blocks out Nico playing there. And now the Molotovs are in. They're going to force Guardian off, but he's still here and ready, and he hits a blunder onto Malta.
Well, Guardian again stepping up once more for FaZe. Gratisfaction takes a tag, and they just cannot get any entry into this A-bomb site at all. Grayhound being shut down at every turn, but Dexter, speaking of turns, he does get a nice one there onto Nico. Not sure that it will be enough here, though, as Gratisfaction in a 1 versus 3 with only the AWP to play with, and 18 seconds on the clock. He spotted out Guardian, can't even quite land the killing blow. And Grayhound be hoping that Gratisfaction can save this AWP through to the next round. But this is looking disastrous indeed for Grayhound, as they once again will be bowing out of a round. 7-1 up for FaZe. Time for attack pause perhaps here for Grayhound. They need to stop the rot.
That's what I was guessing that tick in the chat was that we heard. Oh boy, for FaZe, they're playing a pretty standard hold here. 1 towards mid, 2 towards A, 2 towards B. But they're completely shutting down Grayhound due to the fact that they're hitting all of their shots. Grayhound, they get the utility out, they get the smokes onto short to try and get themselves some space. Even Malta, I'm pretty sure there was a smoke into CT that he was trying to drop into, but Guardian too fast, doing too much damage. That, I think, is going to make this one quite a short map if Grayhound can't fire up. Not even can't fire up. There's a difference between firing up and then firing enough to take on FaZe, because all of these players are on another level right now. Carrigan's looking solid. Guardian's hitting some amazing shots.
I think solid is an understatement, Tim.
They're looking like FaZe of 6 months ago. And that is a completely terrifying prospect for Grayhound right now. Down by 6 already. They've got another gun round together, and Rain gets tagged on the cross. That could be the start that Gratisfaction's been looking for, but he hasn't found the kill yet. And hasn't done anything to disrupt this setup. And look how confident Guardian is. He's locking down Bedroom with an AWP. He's pushed all the way up by himself. Nico's got control into mid. This is a confident-looking FaZe clan.
It is indeed, but Grayhound, we know that they can match FaZe. They've done it on Mirage. They did it as well to an extent on Cage, but right now they're just not finding their feet here on Dust2. The opening kill does go the way of Urcast, but a lot of HP sacrifice there, and pushing on in, Carrigan will be able to trade out one of those Grayhound players. So we're back to a 4 versus 4. Still favorable, though, for Grayhound. Splits the bomb sites a little bit, opens things up just slightly for Grayhound, but they need to figure out what they want to do with this 4v4.
Already, though, FaZe aren't giving them much chance to think about it. Positioning Guardian at car, Carrigan towards long. This is a very strong A-hold, and one that we saw a lot of on older Dust2. Look at Carrigan as well. He's actually getting aggressive in towards long. He wants to shut this round down before it even begins. The flashbang won't hit him.
Oh, and it could be his undoing as well, as Dick Stacey Does manage to drop Carrigan, which again puts the player advantage in the favor of Grayhound. Guardian under pressure from the Incendiary. The flashbangs come in as well, and he misses the shot. Dick Stacey will be able to find another kill in this round, and now it's all on to exist here in the CT spawn. Gratisfaction starting to warm up. And Grayhound, they just need to get across here. It's going to be the run boost as Gratisfaction. Oh, I'm not so sure that's worked out the way they wanted it to, but they get across, and the bomb will go down, and that's what matters for Grayhound, as Rain will have to back away here. There is a lot of money here for FaZe, but not enough to really commit to this retake.
Rain, I think, will probably still go for some damage here. Nope. That failed jump almost makes him reconsider, given that he made some noise and given himself away, but no one from Grayhound is close enough to hear it. Rain's going to go for this. He should go down to the guns that are trained on him, but he's good enough that maybe there's a chance.
There were so many guns trained on him there, Tim. If he would have come away with that clutch victory, or even getting rid of the 3 Greyhounds players and doing the damage, it would have been another small nail in the coffin for Grayhound that is quite quickly being built right now by FaZe.
It is. Grayhound do get one, and they've gone for the pause here. This time, they're not calling the pause to talk about what they're doing facing down the anti-eco, as they should know full well the rounds that FaZe have won so far have been very clean. They've eliminated all of their players, losing only 1 or 2 most of the time, so they know that FaZe aren't going to be going for a force buy here. So at this point, they're just trying to figure out what they can do, where they found success, where they didn't. A big part of that was the fact that Carrigan was getting so aggressive into A-Long. Looking into bedroom, Dick Stacey hits a blinder of a shot on the entry and then is given another one due to Guardian missing some shots. That is not something you can count on, though. You can't always count on FaZe pushing into you, giving you a kill on Guardian missing. Certainly the latter is not something you can rely on at all. So Grayhound, we'll see what the change-up is here. Once again, it's Gratisfaction watching mid early on, and the 2 CTs cross together. No damage across from him. That will establish the A-hold, and FaZe, they've done a bit of a change-up with some fast, short control. Guardian is here, backed up by Nico.
Yeah, and is Grayhound ready for it? I don't think they were, but Guardian does not hit the shot. Malta quickly up short to see if he can find any sort of a trade. At this point, though, Guardian holding on to the angle. And it's going to be Nico to find the kill with the Incendiary. He also got a headshot in there, so good work done from Nico. And I was going to say, that last round needed to be the catalyst here for Grayhound to come back into this half, but the second one, the follow-up round, has not started off the way that Grayhound would have wanted it to. Malta going for a solo play. That's contrary to what we've really been seeing out from Grayhound for all of their success. They've been a very team-oriented unit. They have not necessarily been trying to make those individual plays, and I don't know, this does not look so great for Grayhound, if I'm being honest with you, Tim. The bomb's been dropped. Rain holding quite easily onto the B-bomb site, but Gratisfaction will be able to trade him out. Now into a 2 versus 3 as Grayhound make their way into the bomb site.
Nico is already getting in here early, though. The push coming in from doors too. Grat needs to hit a blinder, and he's missed the opportunity. He's given it all on Urcast. 1 versus 2, and he can't find anything. Guardian's in, shutting it down again. Of course, it's Guardian. And now 8-2 is the score for FaZe Clan. Dominance over Grayhound here. The money not great for them as well. This is not looking good for the Australians, but I think any team would be under a ridiculous amount of pressure on this map with FaZe in this form. What can you do?
Well, a force buy is the option actually out from Grayhound. That's what they're going to try and do at least. But from what we've seen, it doesn't matter whether Grayhound have got guns or not. FaZe is just having their way with this Australian unit. This is much more what we expected to see from FaZe in recent times than what they've displayed so far. But could this be the redemption story that we spoke about for FaZe Clan? If they smash Grayhound out of this one, go up against Cloud9 in the lower bracket final and make their way through to the playoffs, anything could happen from there on out. Grayhound still trying to nip at their heels, but as of yet have not been able to do any significant damage here on Dust2.
Grayhound do have a bit of utility here, so if they're going to go out onto A, they need to be smoking off that cross to get themselves past Guardian, who's been there pretty much every round so far. Grayhound will be slowing it down, repositioning back towards A long, where again it's Carrigan waiting for them. The setup has been pretty much identical from FaZe every single round, apart from the positioning of Nico, who's been moving around a little bit. This time he's boosted out on a box in CT to get over the mid-B play if it does come through. But they're going to go straight into Carrigan here, and he's ready.
Not ready enough, though. Dick Stacey with the Deagle will be able to drop him. And again, another kill out from Dick Stacey. He is the one that is having the impact right now for Grayhound, finding those openings. Malta in onto the site as well. does drop another, but Grayhound, now they need to figure out how to get across long. Qudos Faction will try and lock that one down, but again, it's going to be Dick Stacey. What a round out from him. Yeah, it's another one there for Grayhound, another very important round, but they need more.
That is now twice that Dick Stacey has been given those two long, well, not given those two long kills, of course, he's taken them, but the first one he gets because Carrigan's playing aggro, and with the M4A1 as opposed to an A4, doesn't have the RPM, doesn't have the amount of damage going out when he's not hitting all headshots to be able to shut it down. And then Guardian missing a shot gives another one over. But so far, that is the only vulnerability that Grayhound have found. And it's not a gap in the defense so much as it's a slight gap in the actual players that they're missing shots, because there's no vulnerability that you can exploit there in terms of setup. There's not, if we run out here, no one will fight us. It's, we're running out here, they're fighting us, but we're getting the better of it, which is not something you can count on to stay forever. Now, FaZe, they've still got 8 rounds on the board. They're using their first tactical pause, 3 remaining. They're very much in the driver's seat here on Dust2, but I think their setup should be adjusted a little bit. Of course, Carrigan can just warm up and hit those shots. Guardian doesn't miss very often, so it's not like it's a huge problem here for them, but we'll see if they choose to present this one differently. Their money is something else that's not good. They've got 2 scouts, 3 pistols. See where they position them. Looks like they're going for a short boost, and there's Grat with the first pick.
Well, here's a way back into the half for Grayhound. They were presented a previous round, and they didn't really take advantage of it, but now it is more or less an eco out for FaZe. Like you said, they've invested a little bit into it, but Grayhound need to lock this one out, bring it up to 8 and 4, and then at the very minimum, Tim, I think they need to get 6 out of this first half and at least come back into the map. Right now, though, Grayhound methodically working their way through this one.
And I think this is a really important round for them as well. Not important because it's going to alter their game, but important in terms of confidence, because they've been dropping a lot of anti-ecos in the previous few days. Taking this one against a FaZe plan that have looked as good as they have would be a nice little booster for them in this matchup. Malta's going to go hunting for some UMP kills, but again, it's Nico with a ridiculous deagle.
Yeah, but it's only going to net Guardian the UMP, so not really so sure how impressive that really is going to be as far as FaZe is concerned. They'll want to get the M4s out in the next round, though I suppose it will help their buy, which is quite nice. Grayhound, though, have managed to negotiate this anti-eco well enough. And they'll be up to 8 and 4. The job not done for them, though. They still have work to do. They are working hard.
They're certainly doing better than they were when they were down 8-1 or whatever it was, but got to be careful here. There could be some exit frags coming in, especially with the setup as it is. Nico's gone down, but Guardian's still waiting. The remaining players will not go down with the bomb, but Guardian gets out with an M4. That's a decent win for FaZe.
Yep.
That's one less gun that has to be rebought.
We'll be happy with that indeed. And well, we've been talking about Guardian quite a lot, but he's only 6 and 5. Have a look at Carrigan, 14 and 5, having another monster map. Continuing the good work that he put in on Cache. As far as Grayhound is concerned, it's Dick Stacey leading the charge there with 10. Another round out here for Grayhound. A double eco for FaZe. So, Grayhound working their way back into this map slowly but surely. And is it a case of slow and steady wins the race?
Where the hell was that? Was that through onto short? Goodness me. One does go down. It's Guardian drops, but Nico's there with the trade. And Rain hasn't been mollied out at Car. If they don't check this position, no, Urkars will spot him.
Oh, the spray down with the M4A1S. Can't quite land all the shots. Now he's got the Glock, and Rain shuts him down. But there is the trade there for Dick Stacey. So a little bit too close for comfort, perhaps, for Grayhound. And what's going on there? Dick Stacey swapped out the M4 for the
He dropped his AK not wanting to reload, picked up the M4, and it was also empty.
Yeah, a little unfortunate for Dick Stacey, but he has got the reload across. Now he just needs to wait for his team, but Nico is lurking and waiting. Malta shuts him down. That's the danger averted. Now just exist with the CZ, and he's already been smoked off. So Grayhound have restored some equilibrium here on Dust2. But again, the balance is still heavily weighted in the favor of FaZe. If they can close out even another one round in this half, they're putting themselves in a good spot heading into the second.
I said, though, for Grayhound here, with the form that FaZe are in, of course, they want as many rounds as possible, but I think if they can get really another one here, they can go... They're going to get like 5. Their 5th round here, it was only a matter of time until Exist went down, but if they can get their 6th to make this 6-9, heading into the CT side, all they've got to do is convert that pistol, and they've been doing that so very well. So if they can get that done, then immediately we're back at 9-9. So for Grayhound, I think they need the one more.
Double ops out though for FaZe. And Nico was quite impressive with it on Cache. Guardian so far has been doing well on Dust, despite not having too many kills on the board. He's really looked sharp with it. So this is another problem that's being thrown at Grayhound. They have to try and figure it out. Satisfaction. Oh, the damage is done onto Nico, but no kill as of yet.
Knee was spotted there, and Grat, he might just get another opportunity at this. He spots that Nico's knee again. That's 2 times that Nico moves a little bit too far. Only a pixel or 2 in it, but Grat's still good enough to find the entry.
I'm not sure if you were doing that intentionally, Tim, but I do like the pun. It's FaZe Clan now playing with a player down. Grayhound, again, they have been not so amazing at converting these rounds, but another opportunity for them, and a very, very important one. They can turn this back into an 8-7 half, which would be more than acceptable. Guardian misses a shot, drops down into CT, and the flashbangs to come up, but he can't do anything about these Ts. And Dust2, the opportunity once more is gifted over to him and opens up for Guardian, really stepping up right now for the side of Grayhound. Dexter, what can he do coming into mid? Not a whole lot, as Exist will shut him out.
God damn, Dust2. Big Dick hitting big entries so far on this map. He's been playing incredibly well. It's left in a 2 versus 4 now for Exist and Rain. Karrigan also got taken down there in long. They know that he's been there and they're getting ready for it now. So Grayhound are starting to get a read on the way that FaZe are playing. They're not really changing anything up. They're letting Guardian play towards the A bomb site, putting Nico in mid with his secondary AWP. And Grayhound are getting these kills. So if this starts to work for them, maybe we're looking at an 8-7. They've done what I think is the minimum for them.
Money's not great for FaZe.
It's not at all.
So it's very real that Grayhound can actually pull this half back. And for almost the entirety of this half, we've been saying FaZe Clan have been ahead, they've been controlling this game, but now Grayhound is in a position to just completely steal away that momentum and come back with an 8-7 half.
So they're going to get some guns out with the remaining money that they have on the FaZe Clan side of things. But for Grayhound, they've got everything they could want. Full utility, full guns, full everything, and still money left over. They can't actually buy enough to spend everything. If only it wasn't last round, they'd be in a very good spot. Doesn't matter though, all they need is this one to make it more doable, and Grat spots the movement through the smoke, but can't quite hit it. It will be a long hit now for Grayhound. They're going very fast, trying to exploit onto the weakness that they found, which is Karrigan over here. Guardian missing shots. It's Nico there this time, and Karrigan's already gone in to fight mid. But Grayhound, they do at least have a long control, so now with the smoke in front of them, they can slow it down, try and find their opening frag.
Yeah, FaZe have answered though by pushing out onto short, so a little bit of information for the CTs. As a result of that, you lose one area of the map. As a CT, you push another and try and find information, which is exactly what's happening on the B bomb site right now.
They're getting all the way into Upper Dark. Exist and Rain buddied up. They haven't pushed in just yet, but as soon as they go, they'll get the info. It's going to be A, and the players on bomb site have to try and stop it. Karrigan gets found out.
He does indeed, and Malta now leading the charge up to the A bomb site. Will dispatch of Nico. Dust2, unfortunately for Grayhound, has gone down, but the kills are still going the way of Grayhound, and it does seem as though we're staring down the barrel of an 8-7, barring a crazy clutch out here from Guardian, which is entirely possible. He's got another flashbang here still to play with, and also the AWP. Let's see if he can make this one happen. No sense in not giving it a crack, and he's got quite a bit of time, though no kit available to him. He will spot out Urcast and gets a good shot across there, but only a damaging shot. He needed the kill. Time is ticking away for him. The first shot goes the way of Guardian, however. Now he's seen the player at car. Satisfaction in the middle of nowhere. Oh, the opportunity was open for Guardian, but in the end, Malta will shut it down. 8-7 at the end of the half. Grayhound, a great comeback, but can they finish it off here in the second? Don't go anywhere. We'll be back to find out after the half. The final moments now here between Grayhound and FaZe. We're at 8 and 7 at the end of the first half. It's the final map, one apiece. Of course, is where we are at, and right now, both teams, you could not really put too much between them. FaZe, they started off excellently here on Dust2, but Grayhound, they've definitely made their way back into this map. So, the last half for one of these two teams here at IEM Sydney, and Grayhound, well, they've got the momentum. That's one thing to give them.
Oh boy, I cannot believe how close this game has gotten. From 8-2 to 8-7. Now Grayhound onto the pistol round on CT side. Their pistol rounds have been deadly so far this tournament. No utility here, all armor going for the aim duel. They've already got info in towards mid, the double push up short. And for FaZe Clan, one set of utility on exist. It's going to be a B play, all on the shoulders of Malta and Urcast right now.
Well, Urcast has certainly been very impressive on the pistol round so far for Grayhound, but Malta, he will be taking the first contact here, and it's critical that he hits ahead, and he does manage to get Nico. That's one player down now. FaZe, their attention is diverted. Urcast will pounce and finds another kill. The rotation to come across now from Grayhound, but the smoke down into the doors does allow the cross for FaZe and will allow the bomb to go down. Malta is low. Satisfaction come through from upper dark. Stacy just charging into the B bomb site, perhaps a little bit over eager, as it now does leave Gratisfaction in a 1 versus 2. He knows the positioning of Rain, but does he sense Carrigan to his right? Well, now he knows that some bullets have been flung in his direction, and in the end, FaZe, they come away with the pistol. Dick Stacy, and Dick getting a little bit too eager there, Tim.
Dick going a little bit too hard, I think. Might have just given that one away. That's a bit of a problem for Grayhound. Their pistols have been great, but credit where it's due. FaZe played that one very well to recover from that initial tough situation that they were in. Now, the rifles, the SMGs, the money-making machines are out for FaZe, and for Grayhound, it's the double scout. Seems to be the, meta on Dust2 at the moment to go for 2 scouts in these rounds. FaZe did it as well, and here comes the push from Guardian.
Well, he's already been tagged down, but Dexter will sacrifice his life for that damage. So Grayhound have not gotten out of that what they wanted. An exchange of weaponry as Guardian picks up the UMP and throws the AK over. He's just slowing things down now, which is fair enough, as Grayhound will be thinking about what's going on. They need to figure out where FaZe is intending to go, and this push out from Grayhound is intended to find some information.
Is indeed. Grat might just spot out one player here. It's the bomb, but I don't think he spotted that much, as Carrigan did drop it before being seen. So Grayhound, they don't get too much out of that so far. They've still got the double scout out, but FaZe Clan, a minute left on the clock. They've got a decent amount of utility left. They're going to throw out the mid to B smoke and the flashbangs as well. Dick Stacy tries to get in front of it, but has been spotted. This round is very difficult for Grayhound here, as they still haven't found a kill.
Some more damage being done, though, by Grayhound. A few of these FaZe members being dropped a little bit down. But Nico does get the better of Dick Stacy, and now it's on to Urcast here on the B bomb site with the CZ. He will spot out Rain. Gratisfaction's found exist in the mid as well. A lot of damage done there, actually, by Urcast. And Malta, another tag across here with the scout. This is still doable for Grayhound. The timer not really working in the favor of Grayhound, or rather for FaZe right now. But Malta under too much pressure from mid. Nico coming in with the clutch play. As FaZe Clan, they close out the 10th round. It was a good attempt from Grayhound, but not good enough.
The upcoming gun round here, I think, is really going to tell us how the rest of this game is going to go. Half number 1, FaZe up 8-2 before the comeback really started from Grayhound. In this one, they've taken the pistol, they've taken the anti-eco. Now they've just got to do it again. Grayhound not going to buy anything into this round, but I think the round we're all waiting for now is round number 20. Gun round number 1. That, I think, is really going to tell us where we're going to end up here, and if Grayhound will be able to make this one competitive, or if it will be FaZe continuing the steamrolling power that they have been on. Carrigan's going to look for some easy money in mid. Not really much is going to happen in this round, as already 3 players are down for Grayhound.
The trouble for me about this matchup now, Tim, is it's no longer Grayhound putting the pressure on FaZe. It's FaZe putting the pressure on Grayhound, and Grayhound always having to find from behind. We saw it on Cache. They couldn't quite get it done there. And much the same, it seems likely that it could be the case here on Dust2 as well. This first gun round, this could be the end for Grayhound. If they drop the gun round here, it might be their last chance at IEM Sydney 2018. But if they pick it up, they've got another life left in them here on Dust2. Such a critical gun round now for both sides.
It's only 4 rounds, the gap. It's not much, especially if this gun round can be claimed. But Guardians on the AWP, he used to be such a god with the AWP on this map. And Grat's going to be looking for this first duel, but pulls out just before Guardian would have had the face. FaZe Clan just taking some early map control in towards Dark. And lower Dark with the flashbang as well to force it out, or forcing the Grayhound members out. For the Aussie boys, 3 players over on B and on B ramp, not holding mid directly. They can crossfire it. They've got a player, yeah, Dick Stacey can drop down into CT as well to help out Urcast and Malta. So the mid presence is very much there, but will be delayed in activation from Grayhound. For FaZe, nothing as of yet. Early utility, flash into mid. Now they're going to go.
Spotted out Malta as well. He's done some damage. In fact, it's a 1-for-1 trade. Guardian's gotten rid of Gratisfaction. The AWP duel going his way here on Dust2, but mid is open, and FaZe taking advantage of that. Dick Stacey pushing through the smoke, has gotten a trade out, but it's 2 versus 2, and the bomb down on the B bomb site, a site which is so notoriously difficult to retake here. Carrigan playing close to the window, gets the Molotov down, just to delay a little bit more here for Grayhound. The grenade to go through as well. That could do some damage, and does. Dick Stacey gets dropped relatively low. Dexter already so low indeed, and they need to push into this B bomb site. Grayhound, they open up the first kill. Dick Stacey again comes up absolutely massive for Grayhound. He is doing so much work. He is really putting in the hard yards for his team, and really, he's pulling them through so many rounds right now.
The biggest of big dick plays. We've used this phrase a lot, and it's one that the Australian casters have been using ever since we've seen Dick Stacey coming up through
Humble
the
beginnings.
Tier 1 scene. Exactly. He started out on Pug mixed teams, essentially, made it onto his first international roster at the start of, or not international, first Tier 1 roster in Australia at the start of 2017 that was mostly newer players to the top end. He's been shuffling through teams now, and he's really found a home here on Grayhound, but this sort of step up against FaZe is something we haven't yet seen from him, and it makes me very excited for the potential of this team. But of course, FaZe Clan are in the lead. We can't count them out as much as we do love a good underdog story, especially with an Australian team. This is still a very important round for FaZe, or game for FaZe, to get themselves back into winning ways.
Dick Stacey with it all to do here again, and he's going to be flashed out, sitting behind the blue crate. Have they spotted him? I don't know if they have, actually. So
No.
Dick Stacey might have the advantage here, a flash in from his teammate, but he does not know that Guardian is waiting for him. Gratisfaction waiting for the trade, but the flashbangs are good here from FaZe. There's so much pressure on Gratisfaction right now, and he is answering so well indeed. Gets rid of Nico and Exist, and now it is a 3 versus 1. Rain might just be shut out of this round, sitting in pit. He's got a smoke there to keep him safe from Gratisfaction at least, but Grayhound have the wrap around the back.
They do indeed. Malta on his way in with the MP9, so Rain, this would need to be a gigantic clutch. The other thing is, if Malta peeks out here, he's going to find the bomb. So if he does go for that, he won't even have to continue onto Rain. He knows that he's locked in, but as it is, he's content to keep Rain stuck where he is.
They might want to do a little bit of damage over to the economy here for FaZe. There's not going to be a buy through next round. If Rain loses this AK, Grayhound is going to have a much easier round. But on the other side of the coin, Grayhound don't have a huge amount of cash to play with. In the end, Rain does go down. That's perfect for Grayhound here. And FaZe will be forced onto either an eco, or I suppose a force buy is possible right now for FaZe. If they want to put that pressure on Grayhound, they absolutely could do it. And this tactical pause might be just exactly what they're discussing right now.
That was a massive round from Gratisfaction there, just cycling between the angles he had to fight, back and forth, hitting the shots. That's the sort of AWP power that Dust2 can be defined by. It was Guardian in half number 1. Now it's the Kiwi of Gratisfaction, or the New Zealander for those who don't know the term, looking to step up and do the same. For FaZe Clan, they are still up by 2 rounds. So this tactical timeout now gives them a bit of a chance to think and reflect, get their coach Ro8 involved in the discussion about what they want to do. They now know that Gratisfaction will be playing towards long as that secondary player. He can, of course, change it up. Grat so far has been playing mid, then rotating to long, looking for the early damage.
Grat's a very mobile AWPer as well,
He
so
is.
I wouldn't necessarily take that as gospel for FaZe. They
that
need
was
to
gonna
be
be my
aware
next
that he
point.
could be anywhere on the map.
And now Grayhound have called out that the mid to me might be coming through. They've got Dexter boosted up in CT. This is where Nico was towards the latter stages of the last half as well. And that position allows you to see over the mid B smoke and means that Grayhound can get off mid. That allows them to have Grat at car watching short instead of up on short or someone watching mid, because they give up short, they post Grat on it, who can have great impact, and then Dexter is watching for mid B. So it's a different setup. It doesn't actually give them mid control or info, but does give them sufficient to shut it down if the push goes in any of the ways that they're watching.
Again, this is really going to hinge on Gratisfaction with that AWP. Once more playing by the calm position. He might be backed up by Dexter if someone drops into CT, and there is the player in pit as well. But really, it's going to be on the back of Gratisfaction that Grayhound win this round.
And it's just a pistol, so it shouldn't be too dangerous, hopefully.
Well, you say that, but we've seen it before from FaZe Clan and from Grayhound, so let's not count this one out just yet for FaZe, particularly with a shot like that from Nico.
Jesus.
That is so bad news indeed for Grayhound here. Dexter goes down as well. They cannot afford to be losing around like this right now. Grayhound need to stabilize. They need to come back into this A-bomb site and secure the retake. Malta's done well. Dick Stacey's done well, but he's down now as well. That scout proving so useful for FaZe right now.
The one thing that Grayhound have going for them is that the cross has been covered from pits. They know that no guns have been retrieved. That flashbang won't quite hit Rain, and the HP is so low that this is still not a done deal.
FaZe, what a round to come away with now, Grayhound. Oh, they are in a world of hurt. The money is awful, and they've lost an anti-eco at the worst possible time.
Goodness me. The anti-ecos have been so shaky for Grayhound. They've lost them on T side and CT side. It's been a real issue for them. A lot of it's just come down to the fact that on any of these maps, it's that one player is able to be isolated. For Nico there, he was allowed the space to move around. Grat's subtle repositioning does give Nico just enough space, and he knew that Gratisfaction would be AWPing from that position. It's still a blinder of a shot to hit, but that's just perhaps Grayhound getting a little bit too predictable. They don't spot Grat towards mid early on, where in previous rounds they have, so they assume it'll be at long. And Nico hits a blinder of a shot to start it out. Guardian when he gets the scout too, but it's a real problem for Grayhound.
That's a tilter of a round as well. Grayhound, this is now where we get to really see their mental fortitude. If they can come back into this map from now, then they are going to be a scary team coming into the rest of IEM Sydney. But it is going to be a massive mountain to climb now for Grayhound. Mount Everest, in fact, as Nico will open things up there. Dick Stacey goes down, and so too does Dexter. Dearie me, FaZe Clan, this might be enough.
I think this is the doomsday bells ringing for Grayhound. That wasn't even necessarily anything they did wrong. They did give it a bit of a 1v1 for Nico, but when you have a player like Nico on fire, we've seen it with FaZe against so many other teams, with Nico back on Mouse Sports against anyone. When there's one guy who is determined to ruin you like that, there's so little you can do beyond one of your players getting him back even harder. Urquhart's already been red. Carrigan is waiting for this push. He might just lose the timing, but he will not. And Grayhound now. They've managed to flank around into T-spawn. The bomb's already out long. Mid is actually dangerous now.
Hang on
I didn't even know you could self-boost there.
Hang on a second here, Tim, because Malta getting those 2 frags. The bomb only just now being taken up into the A bomb site. Do Grayhound have a chance here, or are they going to save?
Well, if they do go for this retake, they're going to have to go up through short because that's where the guns are. Malta's going to be able to hold on to his M4, but Grat is either going to lurk around for someone to push him long, or he's going to go short and get one of those guns, which is where Guardian is waiting. He might swing out just to deny that weapon collection. He's missed the timing on it so far, but once he peeks back in, he'll be able to confirm that both the guns are still there. And Malta might actually be given a third here.
Don't know if he spotted Guardian there.
No.
So, the expected result, FaZe will come away with this round, put themselves up to 13. Grayhound, the money is going to be absolutely shot in the next round as well. Critical that they save this gun through for Malta, but he is taking a pretty aggressive peek there onto Rain, needs to keep himself alive, and now that gun is lost. Gratisfaction will not be able to retrieve it. Grayhound, what do they do here? Do they eco it out? I guess they have to let FaZe through to 14 and try and stage a momentous comeback.
It would have to be a gigantic comeback. It wouldn't be the first time they've done it so far today. I mean, the start of this map, they were down 8-2. They bring it back to 8-7, but unfortunately, they don't have another 8 rounds to play with before they start coming back. They're already at 13-9, or 9-13, I guess. They're about to be 9-14 as they're just taking the pistols through here. FaZe Clan finally on point. Finally, this is the FaZe Clan that we expected to see. Indeed, that we wanted to see, that we've been waiting to see for months. They haven't looked as good, but finally Exist is starting to mesh as he finds the opening frag as well. Grayhound, I think, might just be swept away by the tide.
Grayhound need to find something special, something magical. They need to really dig deep now and kick themselves into
knife
another
him.
gear. Gratisfaction looking for the knife kill
No,
here, but
do
he's not going to be able to get it to him. There's no chance at all. He needs that AK, and now he's got a chance onto Nico. Where's the communication from FaZe Clan? It's 2 versus 2, and both of the CTs now have AKs. Still no armor for Grayhound, but a chance on this cross that they might be able to shut things down.
Gratisfaction, they're so low. That was his chance, but they will just get across. Unfortunately, the AKs can't make it work, so Dick, Stacy, he's had some big plays so far. He's got the 1v2, they're both low, but can he do this?
He has been so incredible for Grayhound here on Dust2. Definitely has been the shining light, but he's given away his position now, and this 1 versus 2 would have to be something sensational from Dick Stacy to get Grayhound back into this map. He just does not have any time to work with. He does not have any armor. He does not have a kit. Everything is working against him right now, but can he hit the shot? No, Rain is too good by Goose. And 14-9, FaZe Clan put themselves very, very close to match point. 1 round away from that.
They're very composed here, FaZe Clan. Now, even if Rain hadn't hit that shot, Guardian's position down in pit with an AWP, surely there's no way that Dick Stacy was winning that duel, even in the theoretical universe in which he killed Rain. But the buy, the final buy, the last chance for Grayhound is here. And they've got to find something with the guns that they've got together. It's a fast B coming out from FaZe Clan. Nico's on deck with the AWP. Malta's waiting alongside with Urcast. The smoke will slow them down. But FaZe Clan, 2 rounds to eliminate Grayhound from IEM Sydney. Grayhound, a team who took out SK, on the verge of being eliminated by another giant. Not without a valiant effort, but FaZe so very close now.
It's been a dream run for Grayhound, but maybe it's time to wake up now. The reality is dawning upon them. FaZe Clan really putting them under the pump, but Urcast, perhaps he is waiting to continue with that Cinderella story of dropping Carrigan. A great start to the round for Grayhound, but still they need to stabilize and capitalize on that advantage. Dexter just gets absolutely wrecked. Can't get anything done up there on short, and now it's all onto Malta on the bomb site. He's got a player in pit. Urcast will shut down the one in CT, and this is great now from Grayhound. Malta stepping up individually, and it's going to be 14-10. Grayhound, they will still hang on.
Don't call it too early. It's Nico in the 1v4, and he's found Gratisfaction. Never count this guy out, Jordan. The bomb is down in a terrible spot. There's 40 seconds, but if he finds this frag, it's doable.
It is doable still. 2 full HP players to find, and the bomb and the plant in 35 seconds. But this is Nico we are talking about. You said it. I should not have counted him out. It's something I do all too often. But this is still dangerous for Grayhound. They will not be very happy if they lose this round. It would be a death sentence for them. And Nico is definitely trying to put that pressure on Grayhound right now, but the timer is slipping away from him now, finally collecting the bomb, but he really has almost no option but to plant. Dick Stacy coming from behind. There was no chance there for Nico once the timer got away from him, but he's done some pretty important damage over to the CT economy there. We'll keep Grayhound low, and they need to continue to win every single round out on from here. Sounds like an obvious statement, but for Grayhound, they don't have any chances left.
They indeed do not, but the amount of pressure that they've managed to apply to FaZe Clan, even in the form they've been on in this map, is pretty incredible. Playing very, very well, and of course, FaZe Clan, they've had a fabulous map up until this point. 8-2, 13-9, these are the leads they've had. And Grayhound is starting to bring it back, but of course, FaZe Clan are in the driver's seat. They win this, they can start to get back into IEM Sydney, which is something they desperately need. They've fallen just short. 2nd place at 4 IEMs in a row, now potentially on the brink of elimination in groups if Grayhound can pull off a miracle. But FaZe Clan are in a good position to be avoiding that. Rain has the AWP based on Spawn. He's going for a fast pick on B. And if he can find that, the bomb will follow immediately. This is the change up from FaZe. It's very aggressive. It's what we expect. And they're relying on the aim to get them through.
Carrigan just the CZ here. Urcast has got himself an MP9. It's not amazing for both of these two teams as far as the buy is concerned. The smoke to come down here, though, from Urcast and FaZe will be kept at bay in Upper Dark. Both teams, the economy is low. So if Grayhound do end up closing this one out, it will net themselves more than likely another round. Although, perhaps I am a little bit preemptive in assuming that they can close out the anti-eco.
There's still 3 rifles available, plus the AWP for FaZe Clan. Their initial plan was to go for that AWP pick. They find that on B, they flood on, and then Grayhound have to retake. But with the utility denying that early, with no presence being made by Rain. The Orb's going to get chucked over to Guardian, who you'd expect to have it, such a storied player with that weapon. And FaZe, mid-round, will be adjusting their strategy, heading over towards A. And Grayhound have 3 players here, 2 watching this short push. Grat's there as well. Dexter can flick up to help out. And they've got the rotator along as well. Dick Stacy, who can cover it off. He will have Exist pressuring him, but this is the setup that FaZe have had multiple times. Can they secure 15?
That's a really good late round incendiary out from Gratisfaction. It gives pause for thought for FaZe Clan. And there's no scout available for Nico this time, so let's see what Gratisfaction can do on this cross. Really getting some good utility out, just keeping FaZe at bay. Seems as though Grayhound do know the positioning right now of FaZe, as Carrigan somehow kills himself jumping off, and Dexter, he's going to be dropped. Gratisfaction is down as well, and oh, this has all gone wrong for Grayhound. But 10 seconds on the clock, the bomb will be planted. Nico to shut down both Urcast and Malta out on short. Fantastic work from him, and now Grayhound are staring down the brink of defeat. It's 15 up on the board for FaZe Clan. It's been an incredible run so far for Grayhound, but it might just be over.
On the brink of defeat, facing the depths of elimination, Grayhound, they've put on a fantastic run here at IEM Sydney, but it might just come to an end. It's 5 frags that stand between FaZe Clan, eliminating the plucky Australian team that could. But Grayhound, the change-up is here. They've taken mid-control early, going into lower dark. They're putting a lot of pressure on B. And this is where FaZe are waiting. Can they stand up to this pressure?
Well, Nico, he does not manage to do it. Gratisfaction and Dick Stacy finding some kills, and Grat has another opportunity here, but he can't land the shots. 3 versus 1 now for Dexter. The action slows down, but with a scout against 3, what chance does he have?
Finding individual jewels is the chance that he has, and now he's going up against Guardian. Finds the shot. That makes it a bit more doable, but he's going into B, and FaZe are going towards A. Dexter, this would need to be the round of a lifetime. A scout 1v3 against FaZe Clan of all teams. Is it doable? Barely. Is it likely? No. Is it possible? The Australians have been plucky so far, Jordan. Let's see. Dexter's on the wrong bomb side at the moment, but just maybe this is converted for him.
It's possible. Anything is possible, Tim. In a 1 versus 2, Dexter's found himself an AK now, but he does not have any armor. That's a big problem for him. Also, no kit available. And the bomb is going to definitely be planted now by FaZe. There's no way that Dexter can deny that one. Incendiary out onto short. But Dexter's going to be taking the route through long. He might just catch someone off guard if FaZe decide to fade back into long. Although that is not the option for them.
They'll be getting ready to face this. The flash comes over from long. That's a faking that he's pushing short. That might just draw them away and makes enough space.
Needs to hit the headshot straight off the bat onto Carrigan, then deal with Exist. The flash is out onto long there for FaZe, but no one's spotting Dexter just yet. He's getting very close up onto the side, but he hasn't gotten it done. 16-10, it's going to be FaZe Clan. The dream is over for Grayhound. They've been knocked out of IEM Sydney, and FaZe will continue on forward to meet Cloud9 in the lower bracket final. What a run it was, but now it's done.
A critical comeback for FaZe Clan, though. They need this, and you can see it on Nico's face. They've got the win. It wasn't as clean as they wanted, but they do get it.
And perhaps a little bit of a metaphor there for us with Nico victoriously behind Grayhound in the back of their picture there. So that's not going to be fun if you're Grayhound. You look up and you see that, but of course, you have to give credit there to Grayhound. They've had, what I said, an amazing run throughout IEM Sydney so far. We didn't expect them to get this far, and certainly FaZe have been tested. In the end, it's not going to be enough for Grayhound, but yeah, what a run it was.
That was a ridiculous attempt from Grayhound. They played so well, but for FaZe, they do get the win. And Grayhound here, we see the end of the plucky Australian team that almost could. They do well to knock out SK, but one thing I want to point out, Jordan, FaZe go through. Major final rematch tomorrow, Cloud9 versus FaZe.
It's going to be a big one, of course, between those two teams. Cloud9 looking pretty good, but also not so amazing. They've gone down to Tyloo, so there is a very, very real possibility that Cloud9 gets knocked down here. Again, real possibility that FaZe also gets knocked out. We're not going to be seeing one of those two teams through to playoffs.
And how has that happened? How do we end up with a world where SK is out, one of C9 and FaZe won't be through? This has been appropriate for the land of the upside down, or the country of down under. We're seeing some pretty topsy-turvy results so far in the group stages.
Yeah, speaking of results, we're going to go ahead and have a look at things as they are right now. So that is just FaZe Clan 2-1 over Grayhound, which means they are now out. Cloud9 and FaZe in the lower bracket final, securing themselves at least another chance to get through to playoffs. But for Renegades and Tyloo, tomorrow they'll be playing off for a position in semis. The loser of Renegades and Tyloo will still keep themselves alive in the quarterfinals, but they'll have a much more difficult run into the grand finals if they do inevitably get there. Now, Australis and Fnatic, same scenario for them over on Group B. And still yet to see how the rest of Group B will play out. That's, again, going to be coming up tomorrow.
It is indeed, but one of C9 and FaZe not through is pretty ridiculous. And Grayhound, they had a hell of a run. Credit where it's due. Oceanic Counter-Strike has put on a very good display so far here at IEM. Tyloo still in amongst it. So it's been very, very impressive for them. But for Cloud9 and FaZe, and Cloud9 in particular, it was some big individual plays that brought them through. That 1v4 from Rush, I think, is going to tilt order for the next week.
Yeah, absolutely. What a different story it could have been had Order closed that match out against Cloud9. They'd be up in the finals now up against FaZe. It would have been a difficult task for them indeed. It's still a difficult task for Cloud9 as well, but this has definitely been an amazing day so far. I mean, day one was awesome. Day two is, I would say, been even better.
Yeah, and we're going to have some amazing games through tomorrow as well. Looking at the best of threes that we have yet to come. The group stages from IEM delivered a lot of excitement so far. They're not done just yet. There's still some very close games. And I think if we gave anyone maybe a week ago a bracket and said, all right, I want you to go through a circle of teams that are going to go through, 98% of people would have been wrong at least twice.
Yeah, it definitely would not have been playing out like this in my mind. But Tim, you were talking about that 4v1 that we saw from Rush earlier on today. We, of course, have to go back and have a look at that one. It's the Vodafone Play Faster moment of the day here on the B stream. And it was just something absolutely fantastic. It really should not have been possible here for Cloud9 to come away with a victory, but somehow Rush managed to pull it out from nowhere.
Can I point out this was for the ace as well? He got the first kill with the Galil, then he's able to isolate the two 1v1s here. Sicko was trying to play the baits that his teammates could wrap in time, but he's given away on that jump. And of course, Rush, I mentioned this earlier, he has 11 kills total on HLTV on the AWP, which includes these 4. He barely ever AWPs in officials, but he does a Tarek. Tarek in this exact position found an ace as well in a very similar position on the AWP. Rush pulls it out when it matters, gets in, denies the defuse. And that is the round that put Cloud9 into overtime, essentially. Of course, there was another one after that, but it puts them into overtime. It tilts the hell out of Order. You can see it. They were shaky after that round. They were making decisions which normally I think they wouldn't. It's just that sort of a play. It's a tilter in every sense of the word.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's been a fantastic, crazy day of Counter-Strike so far, but the hopes of the Australian crowd now is really just going to be relying on Renegades. We thought maybe there was a chance that Grayhound could go through to the playoffs as well, but now they're done. We just have to wait and see who's going to be joining Tyloo and Renegades and all those other teams through to the playoffs. That's all coming up tomorrow. It's just going to be absolutely crazy seeing how all these matches play out, because so far nothing has really gone to plan, and if I know the rest of Counter-Strike, really anything can happen from now.
Exactly that. I mean, none of these results are guaranteed. The only thing that we have guaranteed is that the 2 upper bracket matches will have both teams in the playoffs. That's all we know. We don't know who's going to win out of C9 versus FaZe, for example. We don't know how the remainder of the lower bracket in the other group is going to unfold that we haven't been looking at today. That there's so much up in the air. It's impossible to tell what's going to happen, and that is what we love about Counter-Strike. Completely unpredictable, even though it should go a certain way. It barely ever does.
I'll tell you what I do know, Tim. Everything is going to be coming up tomorrow. That's all from us here tonight. We've had a fantastic day. It's been crazy. It's been fun, but it's all over for now. We'll be back again, though, tomorrow. Until then, have a very good night.